Okay, this is Chess Coach Santos, and I'm back here again. We're going to start dealing with our all-purpose system with the black pieces. So I'm going to flip this board around, and there it is. All right, so how effective is this kind of chess opening that I just showed you? This kind of setup. It's not an opening. They're really it's not named anything. Is what I'm trying to say. There are lots of ways and everything to play this. For you guys, you're probably going to be seeing e4 come out. And if it's e4, then we're going to be playing e6. Because we still have players that are still going to be trying this bishop to c4 and trying to do a scholar's mate on us, but it's not going to work when we play d5, remembering our pawn structure with those two center pawns. White's not going to get much and everything from this chess opening. We're going to have a nice time developing our bishops out. So let's back it up here again. They're really trying for this f7 square right there, and for that simple checkmate. That's not going to work again when we start to play e6. Not going to be able to break into that f7. So that's why I enjoy playing French-like positions. It's really solid, and White's going to have to try something else besides this scholar's mate. That's not going to work with us. So we're going to be talking about the French defense later on in our video series. So what I'm going to actually show you to do is to play against this d4 move. We're going to be seeing this from time to time against other chess players. So let me show you how effective this is. They play d4. We're just going to play d5. I mean, the order doesn't really matter too much. c4, this is that queen's gambit. He wants us to take the pawn. If we take that pawn like this, then he's going to get a nice center like that and to be able to attack our little pawn. What to do and everything if we accidentally take it? Well, we can just play a move like let's say e5 right here, and it'd be a bad idea if he takes like this. We got a nice little move right there. Takes, and knight c6, attack a pawn in the center right there, and we'll be pretty good to go. Black's not doing too bad at all. I like it in a way. But that's not the line that everybody's going to be playing. What's actually going to be happening is after c4, we need to get our pawn set up like this. Okay, remember our two center pawns are going to be all connected together. These pawns haven't moved yet, so we're going to be waiting on those, and these pawns are going to be sticking around for a while. Alright, so the next move in this Queen's Gambit setup is either the knight's going to go to f3 or c3. Knight c3 is the popular reply to this opening because it puts a lot of pressure on d5 like that. We got enough backup buddies right here. We got a little pawn right there. We got a queen right there. So he would lose his turn. He would really lose to this one. But it's Black's turn, and we got to keep up the development. We've pushed a few pawns, and we got to develop, so we're going to play knight to f6, just like in our chess opening. And it is about this d-pawn, everybody. It's about this d-pawn, and what we're trying to do is to keep it around for a little while. I know a lot of chess players would feel pretty anxious to get that bishop right here and make a pin. That's a different chess opening, but not the one that we're going to be covering in our chess games here in this video series. So knight to f6. This one I want to develop on the king side, of course. I'm not going to develop this knight. Okay, there's a little secret to the Queen's Pawn games, and the secret is to first develop your C pawn, and then in a Queen's Pawn game get your knight to c3 or to c6. Remember that this pawn needs to go first like this, and before you get that knight out there. So what we're going to do is, again, we're either going to put it on c6 or we're going to put it on d7. We're going to have to wait and figure it out in a little bit. So Let's get ready for this next one. Now, there are different ideas. The Queen's Gambit proper, it will usually get played either, you may see a nice developing move like this. Um, Bishop to G5, we may see that this pawn will take, and E3. Those are all serious replies that we're going to get a chance to look at too. Even bishop to F4 is another serious reply too. Serious as I mean, like they're good. They're good moves. They're not horrible moves. But the one that we're going to be looking at in this example is the bishop's going to go here to G5. All right. This move is very strong. It's stronger than the other ones. This bishop is pinning the knight down, so if the knight moves, we're going to lose our queen. Well, we need a backup buddy on this guy, so we're going to put our bishop right there. We do want our bishop on this long diagonal, okay? We do want the queen maybe to go where the bishop is to help out and assist with that pawn launch to c5, okay? That's coming out later in this example, okay? So knight to f3, this is all very typical, okay? Very typical for this queen's pawn kind of game here, okay? This is the Queen's Gambit declined. We're starting to dive into this a little bit, but we really don't need to know the name of the openings. All you need to try to remember is the way everything's all set up. Okay, remember that black's going to castle like this, and he can do it pretty much in his sleep. He can play all 5 moves. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All really fast. Black doesn't have to think about anything. Okay, we can just develop really nicely. Okay, the only time when I'm going to tell you guys to say, hey, as black, don't just develop like, what you can do it this way too. I know, really, that's kind of a dumb move, right? But if you're not paying attention, why is it dumb? Because, well, the queen's going to take the bishop. But if you're just playing this too automatically, you're playing it too quickly, you're going to lose your queen. This has happened, actually, to a few of my students. And, well, my students with the white pieces won the game. And too bad black wasn't paying attention. And he's going to have a pretty tough game to play now. So let's back it up again. We're in this position right here after black is castled. Okay. You can play knight first and then the pawn. You can play a lot of different things, okay? You can mix them up a little bit too if you want. Just try to get to this within the first 5 moves if you need to. Sometimes black actually kind of waits off on castling, okay? And now again, we're going to get into this a little bit, and so you can see what do I do with the other things. I mean, I've castled, I've controlled that center. Remember my steps? Let me go back to the steps. Control the center. We've done that with our d-pawn. And we got some control over it even with e6. We developed our pieces. We got our knight developed. We got our bishop developed. And we've castled to safety. Okay, our king is castled. And now we're on step number 4. Let's develop our pieces. Okay, we got to develop this knight. And we still got to develop this bishop over here. And develop the rook and the queen. We got a lot of developing to do. This game is not over yet. Okay, we don't need to relax. So after e3. Now, again, this is where black likes to play h6, okay? And we're going to be having to play this move to see if the bishop takes or runs away. In this example, I'm going to show you, and he's going to run away. If he runs away, no big deal. We're kind of waiting for that move like that, all right? We're waiting for this pawn push right there. Like this. I mean, what happens if again this bishop actually runs to f4? We'll look at that one later too. So there's some choices that this white bishop is going to do. But for the most part, we just need to remember I'm going to play b6, and what's coming next? Yeah, we're going to get ready to throw that pawn at him. So we need to get this bishop developed, and then we'll get this knight to go second, and then last we're going to throw this pawn move out there. Okay, this pawn move usually gets thrown out last as soon as this knight gets developed. Okay, so the bishop's going to develop right there, either there or to e2. Whenever you see the bishop do that kind of move, develop here or to develop over here, on d3. Now it's time to take this little pawn. Okay, we'll take it, and then, well, white's kind of have to move his bishop again, and he's hitting that wall of pawns right there. So now, ooh, did you see that? Right there. That's a nice little diagonal for this bishop to go to. He'll go here. Okay, so then he goes there. White's going to castle like this. And here's the other secret, okay, into this chess opening. We need to get our bishops exchanged off the board right here. This is actually White's good bishop, and this is our bad bishop. This is White's bad bishop, and this is our good bishop. Okay, we want to try to get the bishop pair in our chess openings. Okay, so when the knight goes over here like this, well, we got a lot of traps right here. This move is nice. I like this one because we have two attackers on this knight, on this bishop right there. Who are the two attackers? The bishop and the queen. Okay, both of them are going to be attacking right there, so we'll be looking for that. Okay, if our opponent is not paying attention. Well, coach, what if he just takes us like this? Well, if he takes you like that, well, we got our bishop on this long diagonal. That's why we put him there. And this bishop is actually becoming a monster. He's got lots and lots of squares, lots of control. White's not going to be able to put his queen on these squares or a rook or anything. So, nice looking move right there. So that's what happens if that works out here. And if he needs to take right here, right now. This only helps us develop our queen. Okay, and then our queen's ready to help out with this pawn throw right there. Alright, well, actually, white has quite a few different replies to make here, too. He's got, well, the knights can take, and actually the rook is going to come over to c1. We're going to look at that one. And let's see here. Okay. What are we going to do here in this kind of position? We need to now get this knight moving. Okay? Remember, we don't want to throw him in right here and make our bishop bad. Okay? We're trying to make him as clean and nice as possible. We're going to develop this knight to here to d7. Now this knight and this on this spot has a nice place to be able to go here and to be able to go over here. Okay? If it comes over here to f6, he can be in the backup buddy over here. Okay? If we're going to decide to keep him here on d7, then we're going to use the c. He'll be able to help out and to come over here to this to c5. Okay? We'll have to see what white's going to really do. Okay, queen e2 helps the rooks get connected together. Helps the bishop get connected together too. And it is now prime time to move this pawn thrust right there. Okay? The taking only improves black's position, okay? And whereas this knight can come in and just say thank you. Thank you for helping me develop to the center like this. More space, more control. Now we have some nice places to put our rooks. Those nice squares right there. Alright. So, back him up right here. This rook's going to come over here to the center like this because he knows that there's action coming down over here. There's no action hiding behind the pawns. Yes, this board's about to be opened up here on the queen side. So these rooks are already there waiting for black. Okay, so we gotta help meet him to this. Alright, we got our rook coming in over here saying, I'm ready for you. Okay, my queen's actually helping out over here as a backup buddy, and so is this rook over here. Now he's going to play a move like bishop to a6 and bishop to a6. Alright, well, I mean, are we really worried about this? Yeah, this is a threat. We gotta deal with this threat. He's going to take us in one move. Well, how about we develop and defend? Developing defend works. Okay? And our knights are all connected together, and our bishop's working. Everybody's kind of working together nicely. Okay, this is the kind of setup that we're trying to get to in our chess openings. Okay, this is kind of like maybe I guess the dream position in a way. to do this. And remember, we're going to use this rook, and this rook is probably going to be coming to c8, okay, to join in on the queenside fight right here. We're just trying not to get an isolated d pawn, okay, in our chess opening. That's kind of tricky to deal with. And if we can, we'll probably maybe try to give it to white instead. That's just going to be a tricky thing to handle. Alright, so get ready and everything for the next lesson. And the next lesson, we're going to see in the next lesson, what do we do when after we have poked this this piece right there. Well, actually, I'm going to back it up. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about over here on after bishop goes back and b6. Okay, we have rook that can actually come over here, and we have now again some taking. Okay, queen c2. We can look at those later too, but we're going to concentrate later on the next video, okay, about what happens when this pawn takes d5. Alright, so we'll talk about that next time. Alright, see you guys later.